Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. This is the NBA Odds Couple Show for Friday, June 3rd. We're going to cover Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Game 1, we flubbed.
We didn't. They didn't show up. Then again, no, we got it wrong. Absolutely.
Doesn't necessarily mean that our handicapping was off. We'll get that in a second. First, we're going to give a mention of the new website they set up for us, OCDpicks.com.
Love it.
Double entendre there. It stands for Odds Couple Daily Picks, as well as, of course, the implication obsessive compulsive disorder picks.
No, not me and you.
Both applicable, but that's the website. I'm excited for it. They set it up. It's brand new, OCDpicks.com.
Absolutely.
All right.
We're going to have some WNBA, some other picks on there as well. With that being said, we're going to be joined by Jordan Sharp today as well to find out what his thoughts are on Game 2.
So, Game 1, obviously, the Cavs were completely flat. The Warriors blew them out despite not getting any kind of explosive production from their stars. Their bench came out and totally dominated.
I mean, Pete, I was talking to Jordan off camera before the show, and if you would have told me, seriously, that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry would have had the production they had first half and then the full game, I would have, and still won the way that they did, I would have literally said, you better get to rehab, you better straighten out your problem.
From a handicapping perspective, I'm still not convinced that we made the wrong decision.
No, I'm not either.
Perhaps we should have seen, I mean, sometimes in the playoffs, both in the NBA and the NHL, the team that is less rested actually has an advantage in Game 1 because there's a little bit of psychological and even physical rust and sort of
This is true. This is true, but I think it's even beyond that. This gets into some coaching, and it just lets you know how good of a coach Steve Kerr is and how he can utilize his role players and his bench. I mean, I haven't heard of Barbosa's name in a long time, and this was a guy that was a fixture in Phoenix back in the day. All right, but he utilizes guys like that all stepped up when everybody else was having their moments and struggling. But I didn't see that push, that fire from LeBron James and from Kyrie Irving that I thought. And Channing Frye, they did nothing to make plays for him to set him up when that's your best perimeter shooter.
I mean, the offense was completely stalled out.
He's just, it was weird. Just a weird game all in all.
Right. So now this is very ominous because if the offense, it does basically the same thing in Game 2, which is entirely possible, and all of a sudden Curry and Thompson
get hot, and it's going to get ugly. It'll get ugly, absolutely, absolutely.
So, from a handicapping perspective, what do you want to do? We have basically the same line. It's plus 6.5, standard adjustment in favor of the Warriors, which is what we would expect.
And again, most importantly that you said, Pete, and I think the viewers need to understand, and I'm sure they probably do, handicapping that game, I felt good about it. And I said, if this thing goes south, guess what? It does. And it did. So what it is, though, now this is a difficult task right here, Game 2.
The total, as expected, took a dip down. And I think I'm
surprised it didn't take more of a dip down.
I'm sorry?
I'm surprised it didn't dip even more.
My initial assessment of the series was that it would be higher scoring, but now I'm completely going back. And that I think it's going to be the same as last year, where it's going to be just because it is the NBA Finals, every second they're playing maximum defense. And let
me ask you this. Was it Golden State's defense, or was it the lack of production from Cleveland's offense that limited them to the point?
Golden State has always had a little bit of an underrated and underappreciated defense. They've always been stout defensively. It's just because of all the three-point shooting. It's sort of like not what people paid attention to.
And you could see maybe Cleveland figuring it out, because if they don't get a win in this next one, they might be looking, it's going to look dim. But you may also see the other two heat up, so that thing may blow over in a minute.
Just in this playoffs, we know what we've seen. I mean, OKC got blown out by the Spurs in Game 1, and then they came back and got a win. The next time out, we saw the Cavs look terrible against Toronto at times, and then blow them out. So a complete unexpected reversal of form for the Cavs in Game 2 would not at all be a shock. The question is, what's likely? What do you think, Mike Brenner?
Well, I mean, Pete, I said it to you earlier. This is one of the toughest games I've ever had to handicap. So much so, I'm taking a pass. I am absolutely passing on this game. I promise you that. And I'm not cowarding out. I'm not backing out. But I damn sure not chasing. And I don't feel it. I don't know why, but I don't feel it. So I'm going to kick back and listen to your observation. I'll probably jump on a Jordan Sharp prop bet.
My sense is that again the first half the first half total is also is higher than half of the full game. It's 106.5 market wide.
That tells you something.
Heritage is hanging 106. My sense is that the first half under might be a sneaky good play. At 106.5. Let's go to Jordan Sharp and see what he has to say. Jordan Sharp, I'm sure that everyone who handicapped this game. Well, I mean, the people who thought that Golden State are going to dominate are saying, "I told you."
Oh, of course they are, and we're already getting badgered by them.
Yes, the people who didn't have a strong opinion or who like the Cavs are scratching their heads a little bit, wondering what happened to the Cavs offense and wondering what to expect going forward. What can you shed any light on this, Jordan?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the ones that was cautiously optimistic that Golden State was going to win the game. I had them on the alternate point spread, but I only moved them up a half point to get even money on the line. So I mean, I thought they were going to win. That was what cashed my 2 team props yesterday. But yeah, I am still, like you said, there's a lot that you could discuss about this game 1 that leads into game 2, whether or not the Cavs are going to have a turnaround. But I think the argument between whether or not it was the Cavs flopping or the Golden State Warriors defense, I think is absolutely on the Golden State Warriors defense. Do you guys kind of get the sense that as Pete said it, man, they're an underrated defensive team, and they played very, very good against this Cavaliers team. If they can bring that back again and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry can get going offensively, it's going to be a bloodbath in game 2. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so wow. Jordan Sharp, what do you think?
Wow, bloodbath.
Go ahead.
Bloodbath.
Yeah. What kind of props do you think we might maybe get betting props is the best way to to look for? Although the problem with props is that they're directly related to the full game spread and total. So whatever you're handicapping on the total is, if it's wrong or right, it's probably going to be reflected in your prop bets. What are you looking at props for game 2, Jordan?
So I nailed Draymond Green. I might try to go back to him depending on what the adjustment on his line is coming up. I missed on Kevin Love. I'm probably going to leave him alone, but we talked about it on the Odds Couple show for game 1. I was really excited about LeBron James. Didn't pull the trigger. Of course, he almost had a triple-double. He easily cashed his points, rebounds, and assist prop on the over. Can he bring that same intensity back for game number 2? Probably. He might even shoot a little better. It was only 9 for 21. On the other side, though, I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see if any of the books grow a little bit of gall and have any of these bench guys for Golden State's listed as props, because I think turning around and going the under on a Sean Livingston, Barbosa prop, if those are even in existence, could be a pretty good game, because you know those guys are going to come back and have that kind of game once again. Your bench is going to win you 1 game in this series. Your stars got to win you some, and your coach got to win you some too. So I think that's probably not going to happen. Looking at some of those as well, I also think that maybe just maybe, if there is any sort of lowering of Steph Curry's numbers here for game number 2, might try to attack him, and looking at a guy possibly like Bogut, for instance, who had a really good game. A lot of these guys for Golden State, it really just depends on what the lines are for this game. So those will probably come out later on Saturday night, early Sunday morning at sometimes though. But yeah, those big 3 guys I'm looking at again, obviously Draymond Green, LeBron James, and some of those bench guys for Golden State.
Hey, Jordan, real quick, let me ask you, what do you think? Because I was thinking immediately after the game, I got a feeling Kyrie Irving might try to take over game 2. What do you think about a prop bet on him? And has anything been set already? And if not, what do you think it'll be about as far as his scoring?
I think his point total was about 24.5 yesterday, which he cashed the over with. So, and that was with him shooting pretty poorly, but he got to the line a lot. So, I mean, if that continues, if he's continuing to get fouled and get to the line, because he did a really good job of attacking the paint. I don't think he settled too much. He only shot 4 threes, so that's actually pretty good for him. So, yeah, I do think he's kind of got to be that consistent second scorer. You know, the hierarchy of Cavs scoring obviously goes LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love is kind of that third option. So, yeah, he's got to be that consistent 25 points if they want to win this game, but he's got to shoot a little better from the floor to do it. But shooting the ball 22 times, I'm not sure if he needs to be the guy that takes most of the shots for them. So I don't know if they're going to have an adjustment of that, maybe give LeBron a few more shots as well. I'm not sure, but they didn't really spread the ball around too much. I think it was Love, LeBron, and Kyrie took like 75% of their shots or something. Maybe more than that. I'm not sure, but they need to do a little bit better balance. Learn from Golden State in this game from game 1.
And another one I'm looking at, and Pete, not trying to jump in so much.
Go ahead.
It's Channing Frye, because they did not utilize him the way that they could have and did in the previous series. I'm going to say this. I guarantee you're going to see more focus on him. He's going to get more shots. They're going to run more plays through him because he can get it done. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely missed on him yesterday. Had him on over 7 points. It was only 7 points. I thought that was a lock. He's averaging like 11 in his last 2 series. But yeah, I think it was twofold. There was one, I don't think he played too well in his first stint off the bench, and I think Tyronn Lue didn't really feel comfortable going back to him. And you talked about this guy yesterday before the game. Tristan Thompson came to play. He was the only Cavaliers that I think actually considered had a pretty good game in that game number 1. And the fact that he was playing so well, you had to give him minutes at center. You had to give Kevin Love minutes at center, so there wasn't a whole lot of minutes left for Channing Frye to come in there and play until the game got out of hand. So I agree. I think they have to do some adjustments. I think their best lineup, if they get behind again, they have to play Frye and Love together, kind of at that 4-5, give them a really good stretch 4 and 5 combo there. That's really the only way I think they're going to be able to combat this Golden State Warriors small lineup. I think Tyronn Lue will make that adjustment. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Channing Frye, but I think you also have to look at it as a chance that he may not get off the bench much either. He may be cut out of the rotation altogether, and they just go with a combination of Love and Thompson at the 5.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. I've taken these last few minutes to think about really what I want to do for this game, and I haven't. I've made a decision.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to give a pick. It's going to be a pass for you.
I'm just, man.
No, it's fine. You can pass.
Oh, I know, Pistol Pete. I just don't. I have to pass. I'm
you
taking
should
a
only
pass.
get picks that you believe in, and this pick that I'm going to give, I don't think again.
I bet there's 100% chance of darknose tonight. There's
no.
my
I
pick.
think that I think it's an okay pick. First half under 106.5.
Whoa,
yeah. I think that
Pete.
I don't think they're. I mean, I think they'll at times try to open the offense up a little, but basically they're going to play maximum defense the whole time. I think that that Cleveland is going to try to clamp down on defense more than they'll try to open up the offense. Sure, Curry and then Klay Thompson could explode offensively, and in that case we might see a blowout, but it's like one of those 66-34 halves that goes that still sneaks under anyway, as we saw the Toronto. The Cavs do as themselves earlier in the playoffs. So that's my pick for this game. I think it's the best way to go as of right now. I'm still feeling none of the quarters totals are out yet. The first quarter total is out. I don't want to touch it. It's 53. Could easily go over, and then the second half is a lot lower scoring. So
I was going to do a third quarter Golden State, but the line was. Matter of fact, I am going to give one pick. I'm giving a pick.
Is there a line on it?
But I'm going to give the opening line. There's no line on it yet, but I'm going to, just a guess on that is probably going to be about 2. Okay. Third quarter, whatever it is, even if it's 2.5 or 1.5, I'm going to say Golden State gets it.
We'll take the pinnacle opener on that one.
Pinnacle opener, third quarter, that's Brenner's pick with Golden State.
All right, and my pick is the first half under 106.5.
And speaking of picks and stuff like that, just real quick before we close out, WNBA, 5 out of 7. Chicago Sky tonight, first half. I grabbed it -5. It's right now -5.5 or 6. Chicago Sky is a casher. And, normally each year, a lot of times, a lot of my clients, they lay off this time of year. You see that typically during baseball, but I got news for you. You got College World Series, CFL, and WNBA. I'm not leaving my accounts dormant. I'm actually loading up information. Loading up my accounts with money because of information I'm getting in these leagues. You can make money in these leagues. I'm telling you, the College World Series, it's not just great to watch it as a fan, which it is. Sure. You can cash on it. And
I got news for you. We still got UFC going.
And UFC. But I'm not kidding you. WNBA, load up your accounts, guys, because we will absolutely cash tickets for you with that and CFL. So I had to get that out there.
Sounds good. All right, we got our Game 2 coverage and picks done in the can. I'll be very interested to see what happens in Game 2. Does Golden State suddenly get a blowout win when Curry steps up, or do the Cavs make adjustments and maybe pull out a surprise win? We shall see. Either is equally possible as far as I'm concerned. We got our picks, and we'll be back for Game 3 on Monday.
And you know what? I'm going to the beach until that game. I'm going to be enjoying Game 2 from the beach. I need a little break, Pistol Pete, so I'm going to lay it down, but we will be doing some shows from the beach. So you guys have a great weekend.